First level. Physiological desires are wholly met. Physiological desires are partially met. Physiological desires are completely met. Physiological desires are incompletely met. Physiological desires are directly met. Physiological desires are indirectly met. Physiological desires are predestinationally met. Physiological desires are destinationally met. Second level. Safety desires are wholly met. Safety desires are partially met. Safety desires are completely met. Safety desires are incompletely met. Safety desires are directly met. Safety desires are indirectly met. Safety desires are predestinationally met. Safety desires are destinationally met. Third level. Emotional desires are wholly met. Emotional desires are partially met. Emotional desires are completely met. Emotional desires are incompletely met. Emotional desires are directly met. Emotional desires are indirectly met. Emotional desires are predestinationally met. Emotional desires are destinationally met. Fourth level. Psychological desires are wholly met. Psychological desires are partially met. Psychological desires are completely met. Psychological desires are incompletely met. Psychological desires are directly met. Psychological desires are indirectly met. Psychological desires are predestinationally met. Psychological desires are destinationally met. Fifth level. Intellectual desires are wholly met. Intellectual desires are partially met. Intellectual desires are completely met. Intellectual desires are incompletely met. Intellectual desires are directly met. Intellectual desires are indirectly met. Intellectual desires are predestinationally met. Intellectual desires are destinationally met. Sixth level. Spiritual desires are wholly met. Spiritual desires are partially met. Spiritual desires are completely met. Spiritual desires are incompletely met. Spiritual desires are directly met. Spiritual desires are indirectly met. Spiritual desires are predestinationally met. Spiritual desires are destinationally met. Seventh level. Transportation desires are wholly met. Transportation desires are partially met. Transportation desires are completely met. Transportation desires are incompletely met. Transportation desires are directly met. Transportation desires are indirectly met. Transportation desires are predestinationally met. Transportation desires are destinationally met. Eighth level. Political desires are wholly met. Political desires are partially met. Political desires are completely met. Political desires are incompletely met. Political desires are directly met. Political desires are indirectly met. Political desires are predestinationally met. Political desires are destinationally met. Ninth level. Financial desires are wholly met. Financial desires are partially met. Financial desires are completely met. Financial desires are incompletely met. Financial desires are directly met. Financial desires are indirectly met. Financial desires are predestinationally met. Financial desires are destinationally met. 10th level. Entertainment desires are wholly met. Entertainment desires are partially met. Entertainment desires are completely met. Entertainment desires are incompletely met. Entertainment desires are directly met. Entertainment desires are indirectly met. Entertainment desires are predestinationally met. Entertainment desires are destinationally met. 11th level. Healthcare desires are wholly met. Healthcare desires are partially met. Healthcare desires are completely met. Healthcare desires are incompletely met. Healthcare desires are directly met. Healthcare desires are indirectly met. Healthcare desires are predestinationally met. Healthcare desires are destinationally met. 12th level. Aligned mental desires are wholly met. Aligned mental desires are partially met. Aligned mental desires are completely met. Aligned mental desires are incompletely met. Aligned mental desires are directly met. Aligned mental desires are indirectly met. Aligned mental desires are predestinationally met. Aligned mental desires are destinationally met. 13th level. Connectional desires are wholly met. Connectional desires are partially met. Connectional desires are completely met. Connectional desires are incompletely met. Connectional desires are directly met. Connectional desires are indirectly met. Connectional desires are predestinationally met. Connectional desires are destinationally met. 14th level. Social desires are wholly met. Social desires are partially met. Social desires are completely met. Social desires are incompletely met. Social desires are directly met. Social desires are indirectly met. Social desires are predestinationally met. Social desires are destinationally met. 15th level. Esteem desires are wholly met. Esteem desires are partially met. Esteem desires are completely met. Esteem desires are incompletely met. Esteem desires are directly met. Esteem desires are indirectly met. Esteem desires are predestinationally met. Esteem desires are destinationally met. 16th level. Family desires are wholly met. Family desires are partially met. Family desires are completely met. Family desires are incompletely met. Family desires are directly met. Family desires are indirectly met. Family desires are predestinationally met. Family desires are destinationally met. 17th level. Veterans' desires are wholly met. Veterans' desires are partially met. Veterans' desires are completely met. Veterans' desires are incompletely met. Veterans' desires are directly met. Veterans' desires are indirectly met. Veterans' desires are predestinationally met. Veterans' desires are destinationally met. 18th level. Energy desires are wholly met. Energy desires are partially met. Energy desires are completely met. Energy desires are incompletely met. Energy desires are directly met. Energy desires are indirectly met. Energy desires are predestinationally met. Energy desires are destinationally met. 19th level. Housing desires are wholly met. Housing desires are partially met. Housing desires are completely met. Housing desires are incompletely met. Housing desires are directly met. Housing desires are indirectly met. Housing desires are predestinationally met. Housing desires are destinationally met. 20th level. Internet desires are wholly met. Internet desires are partially met. Internet desires are completely met. Internet desires are incompletely met. Internet desires are directly met. Internet desires are indirectly met. Internet desires are predestinationally met. Internet desires are destinationally met. 21st level. Racial desires are wholly met. Racial desires are partially met. Racial desires are completely met. Racial desires are incompletely met. Racial desires are directly met. Racial desires are indirectly met. Racial desires are predestinationally met. Racial desires are destinationally met. 22nd level. Meteor desires are wholly met. Meteor desires are partially met. Meteor desires are completely met. Meteor desires are incompletely met. Meteor desires are directly met. Meteor desires are indirectly met. Meteor desires are predestinationally met. Meteor desires are destinationally met. 23rd level. Democratism desires are wholly met. Democratism desires are partially met. Democratism desires are completely met. Democratism desires are incompletely met. Democratism desires are directly met. Democratism desires are indirectly met. Democratism desires are predestinationally met. Democratism desires are destinationally met. 24th level. Republicanism desires are wholly met. Republicanism desires are partially met. Republicanism desires are completely met. Republicanism desires are incompletely met. Republicanism desires are directly met. Republicanism desires are indirectly met. Republicanism desires are predestinationally met. Republicanism desires are destinationally met. 25th level. Socialism desires are wholly met. Socialism desires are partially met. Socialism desires are completely met. Socialism desires are incompletely met. Socialism desires are directly met. Socialism desires are indirectly met. Socialism desires are predestinationally met. Socialism desires are destinationally met. 26th level. Communism desires are wholly met. Communism desires are partially met. Communism desires are completely met. Communism desires are incompletely met. Communism desires are directly met. Communism desires are indirectly met. Communism desires are predestinationally met. Communism desires are destinationally met. 27th level. Fascism desires are wholly met. Fascism desires are partially met. Fascism desires are completely met. Fascism desires are incompletely met. Fascism desires are directly met. Fascism desires are indirectly met. Fascism desires are predestinationally met. Fascism desires are destinationally met. 28th level. Capitalism desires are wholly met. Capitalism desires are partially met. Capitalism desires are completely met. Capitalism desires are incompletely met. Capitalism desires are directly met. Capitalism desires are indirectly met. Capitalism desires are predestinationally met. Capitalism desires are destinationally met. 29th level. Immigration desires are wholly met. Immigration desires are partially met. Immigration desires are completely met. Immigration desires are incompletely met. Immigration desires are directly met. Immigration desires are indirectly met. Immigration desires are predestinationally met. Immigration desires are destinationally met. 30th level. Infrastructure desires are wholly met. Infrastructure desires are partially met. Infrastructure desires are completely met. Infrastructure desires are incompletely met. Infrastructure desires are directly met. Infrastructure desires are indirectly met. Infrastructure desires are predestinationally met. Infrastructure desires are destinationally met. 31st level. Endemic desires are wholly met. Endemic desires are partially met. Endemic desires are completely met. Endemic desires are incompletely met. Endemic desires are directly met. Endemic desires are indirectly met. Endemic desires are predestinationally met. Endemic desires are destinationally met. 32nd level. Epidemic desires are wholly met. Epidemic desires are partially met. Epidemic desires are completely met. Epidemic desires are incompletely met. Epidemic desires are directly met. Epidemic desires are indirectly met. Epidemic desires are predestinationally met. Epidemic desires are destinationally met. 33rd level. Pandemic desires are wholly met. Pandemic desires are partially met. Pandemic desires are completely met. Pandemic desires are incompletely met. Pandemic desires are directly met. Pandemic desires are indirectly met. Pandemic desires are predestinationally met. Pandemic desires are destinationally met. 34th level. Supply chain desires are wholly met. Supply chain desires are partially met. Supply chain desires are completely met. Supply chain desires are incompletely met. Supply chain desires are directly met. Supply chain desires are indirectly met. Supply chain desires are predestinationally met. Supply chain desires are destinationally met. 35th level. Executive branch desires are wholly met. Executive branch desires are partially met. Executive branch desires are completely met. Executive branch desires are incompletely met. Executive branch desires are directly met. Executive branch desires are indirectly met. Executive branch desires are predestinationally met. Executive branch desires are destinationally met. 36th level. Legislative branch desires are wholly met. Legislative branch desires are partially met. Legislative branch desires are completely met. Legislative branch desires are incompletely met. Legislative branch desires are directly met. Legislative branch desires are indirectly met. Legislative branch desires are predestinationally met. Legislative branch desires are destinationally met. 37th level. Judicial branch desires are wholly met. Judicial branch desires are partially met. Judicial branch desires are completely met. Judicial branch desires are incompletely met. Judicial branch desires are directly met. Judicial branch desires are indirectly met. Judicial branch desires are predestinationally met. Judicial branch desires are destinationally met. 38th level. Taxation desires are wholly met. Taxation desires are partially met. Taxation desires are completely met. Taxation desires are incompletely met. Taxation desires are directly met. Taxation desires are indirectly met. Taxation desires are predestinationally met. Taxation desires are destinationally met. 39th level. Congressional desires are wholly met. Congressional desires are partially met. Congressional desires are completely met. Congressional desires are incompletely met. Congressional desires are directly met. Congressional desires are indirectly met. Congressional desires are predestinationally met. Congressional desires are destinationally met. 40th level. Representative desires are wholly met. Representative desires are partially met. Representative desires are completely met. Representative desires are incompletely met. Representative desires are directly met. Representative desires are indirectly met. Representative desires are predestinationally met. Representative desires are destinationally met. 41st level. Legal desires are wholly met. Legal desires are partially met. Legal desires are completely met. Legal desires are incompletely met. Legal desires are directly met. Legal desires are indirectly met. Legal desires are predestinationally met. Legal desires are destinationally met. 42nd level. Environmental desires are wholly met. Environmental desires are partially met. Environmental desires are completely met. Environmental desires are incompletely met. Environmental desires are directly met. Environmental desires are indirectly met. Environmental desires are predestinationally met. Environmental desires are destinationally met. 43rd level. Technological desires are wholly met. Technological desires are partially met. Technological desires are completely met. Technological desires are incompletely met. Technological desires are directly met. Technological desires are indirectly met. Technological desires are predestinationally met. Technological desires are destinationally met. 44th level. Perfectological desires are wholly met. Perfectological desires are partially met. Perfectological desires are completely met. Perfectological desires are incompletely met. Perfectological desires are directly met. Perfectological desires are indirectly met. Perfectological desires are predestinationally met. Perfectological desires are destinationally met. 45th level. Pluperfectological desires are wholly met. Pluperfectological desires are partially met. Pluperfectological desires are completely met. Pluperfectological desires are incompletely met. Pluperfectological desires are directly met. Pluperfectological desires are indirectly met. Pluperfectological desires are predestinationally met. Pluperfectological desires are destinationally met. 46th level. Self-actualization desires are wholly met. Self-actualization desires are partially met. Self-actualization desires are completely met. Self-actualization desires are incompletely met. Self-actualization desires are directly met. Self-actualization desires are indirectly met. Self-actualization desires are predestinationally met. Self-actualization desires are destinationally met.